Okay, good afternoon, everyone. This is Jacob Melton live here in the Southern Michigan Weather Center. And I just wanted to take a little bit of time this afternoon to provide a live update on our winter storm that is expected to begin later this afternoon across the region. And this winter storm will stick around for some of us through the day on Thursday. Taking a look now at our satellite and radar composite, and I'll start looping it here. It has been relatively quiet so far for the most part across the region, but with only a little bit of snow shower activity possibly in the thumb a little bit earlier today. But otherwise, the clipper system that we've been watching, a lot of the main precipitation associated with that, has went mainly off to our north. Now, we do expect things to change as we head towards later this afternoon and especially into the evening hours of today, as our cold front that we've been watching, that will bring along a snow squall associated with the cold front, and that will be followed by colder air infiltrating the region and lake effect snow picking up quite significantly, especially this evening into tonight. Now, as you can see on our satellite and radar image, we do have our wind vectors overlaid. And that is showing southwesterly winds still over the region at this time. But, especially off to our north and west, you can see the winds turning out in the northwest as the cold front passes. Once we get those winds begin to turn northwest, we do expect the lake effect snow to really ramp up. And we also expect the cold air to rush into the region, especially tonight, with temperatures down into the teens and wind chills potentially around, or a few locations may even see wind chills slightly below zero. So it'll be a very cold night across the area with strong winds and lake effect snow, with some of that being locally heavy. We're now going to take a look at the latest we have on our winter weather headlines, and you're going to see our crawl that we have at the bottom of the screen disappear for just a moment so we can have our full graphic. Now, in the pink color that you see outlined, that is a winter storm warning, and that is where we're generally expecting the very worst of the impacts through Thursday evening, and all these headlines go through very early Friday morning. From what last I checked, they were mostly 1 a.m. Friday morning, but those details may vary slightly depending on your county, so we urge you to go to weather.gov to see the information for your county based on your local forecast office. Like, you can go to weather.gov/GRR if you are looking for the Grand Rapids forecast office. But overall, all of our winter weather headlines currently in effect, that includes the winter storm warning and the winter weather advisory, go through early on Friday morning. Anyways, in the winter storm warning, we expect total snow accumulations within 3 to 10 inches for the most part, with locally higher amounts. Now, you may see the range is a little bit wider than normal. That is just due to the nature of the lake effect snow bands. Totals will vary significantly within relatively short distances. That just depends on where exactly the heaviest snow bands decide to set up. But I want to reiterate here that we don't want you necessarily focusing on the totals. We are expecting significant travel issues really across the entire area, especially this evening, due to the heavy snowfall from the snow squalls and very strong wind gusts as well. Speaking of those wind gusts, the wind gusts in the winter storm warning area could go up into the 45 to 50 mile an hour range, especially closer to the lake shore. And once we get started in wind gusts that high, not only are we concerned about significant visibility reductions due to blowing snow, but we are also concerned about some power outage potential. It's not only do we have to be concerned about tree limbs coming down on the power lines, especially in some of the areas that see the heavier snow totals. We could see branches coming down that could potentially take out power lines. So we are concerned about at least some isolated to potentially scattered power outages, especially in areas that do see the heavier snowfall accumulations through Thursday evening and the early Friday morning. In the winter weather advisory, we are still expecting the travel impacts. The only real difference is that snow accumulations will be a little bit lower in the winter weather advisory areas. But again, I don't want you focusing 100% on the snow totals, especially this evening. We are still expecting significant travel impacts due to the heavy snowfall and reduced visibility. And, alright, in the winter weather advisory area, the wind gusts will be slightly lower in the 40 to maybe 45 mile an hour range, but that's still enough to cause significant visibility reductions again due to the blowing snow. And we are still have some isolated power outage concerns with the wind gusts bringing down tree branches. Now you may notice once you get east of the 127 corridor and southeast lower, there is not currently any winter weather headlines in effect across southeast lower. I still want to caution you that we are still expecting travel issues, especially this evening in southeast lower as a snow squall associated with the cold front makes its way through the area. It could still drop a couple of quick inches of snow. The winds will still be gusty, and we are still expecting reduced visibility problems, especially in where the snow squalls are at their heaviest. Now, I will note as the colder air begins to infiltrate the region, especially this evening, road conditions will quickly change. As the temperatures fall quickly, we are very concerned about a flash freeze. So be alert that road conditions will probably change rapidly once the snow gets going late this afternoon and especially into this evening. We do have some tips here that I'm going to toss up here for if your power does go out. If it does go out, again, we're not expecting widespread power outage issues, but some isolated to maybe scattered power outages are certainly a possibility. So if your power does go out, here are some tips to help keep your house warm as warm as it possibly can be. If you have any blinds or curtains on your windows, close those. That'll help keep in some heat. If you have any unused rooms, close the doors of those rooms, as that will avoid wasting any residual heat that you may have in your household before the power goes out. Wear layers of loose-fitting, white, and warm clothing. So like if you got a sweatshirt or something like that to put on, do that. Keep socks on your feet and stuff like that. That will help with that. Be sure to eat and drink food. Food provides energy to warm the body. You will want to avoid caffeine and alcohol if possible. So eat plenty of small meals. That will help you keep your body temperature up. And stuff towels or rags in the cracks under the doors. That will help keep the residual heat within the room you are in as well. So now we are going to take a look at our forecast snow totals. And you will see the latest alert information returned to your screen. But this is our final snowfall forecast for this event. And again, this forecast runs through Friday evening. Again, I don't want you focusing 100% on the totals. We are still expecting significant travel issues across the entire area this evening into tonight. And then for tomorrow, our primary travel issues will be focused in the typical lake effect snow belts. But we still want you to be aware of that potential. Anyways, across mainly southeast lower, we are expecting 1 to 3 inches for the most part. And that is primarily associated with the snow squalls associated with the cold front tonight. Now, as you can see, as you go off to the west, that is where the totals start getting on the higher end. And that is where that includes not only the squalls associated with the cold front tonight, but the lake effect that will last into the day on Thursday as well. Now, you could see, I also have the yellow outline on the map here. And that is to cover the potential for localized higher amounts that might exceed the forecast shading. Some localized higher amounts will be possible depending on where the heaviest lake effect bands set up late tonight into the day on Thursday. Where lake effect snow bands set up are extremely difficult to predict in advance. So just be aware that if you're just because you're in the 5 to 8 inch zone, like in Grand Rapids, for example, some areas may exceed that depending on where the lake effect snow band's set up. But looking at our chat here, Judah Pierce is asking, what about travel Thursday morning in southeast Michigan, hearing about really icy conditions and bitter cold? Yes, we do expect the very worst of the travel issues tonight with the snow falling. The snow will probably back off from southeast lower some as we head towards late tonight into tomorrow, as the focus for the snow will then turn closer to the lakes and the typical lake effect snow zones. But yes, we do with the cold temperatures. One thing to keep in mind is that road treatments are once we get into the colder temperatures with low temperatures in the teens tonight. Road treatments may begin to become ineffective once we get down into those temperatures. So yes, tomorrow morning, if you're in southeast lower, definitely still watch for any slick spots on roadways, as those will still be a possibility throughout the day tomorrow, even in southeast lower, at least during the morning hours especially. But yes, thank you for bringing that up. Anyways, we're going to take one more look here at our satellite and radar composite. So just to overview, things are relatively quiet as of right now, but we are expecting activity to begin to pick up over the next few hours. No snow day, you're thinking? Well, to be honest with you, I'm not in the business of closing schools. This is me, J-Man. Hello there, J-Man. How's it going? But anyways, point is, I'm not in the business of closing schools. That, of course, is going to be left up to the individual superintendents. But I can't personally rule out some school closings tomorrow. Again, those will generally be most widespread on the west side of the state, where we are expecting those significant snow accumulations into Thursday with the lake effect snow. But even in southeast lower, if the road conditions don't improve enough, especially in the rural districts, I will not rule out some potential school closings. Again, we're not in the business of closing schools. That is up to the individual districts. But yes, I do think there will be some school closings into tomorrow, especially on the west side of the state where the heaviest lake effect goes. But again, to reiterate, conditions are relatively quiet right now, but we do expect that to change quickly as we head over the next few hours, and especially into the evening hours tonight. As the snow picks up, the wind will continue to pick up, and the colder air begins to infiltrate. Which again, wind chills tonight could potentially be around 0 to even a few degrees below 0 overnight tonight. I live 35 minutes away from mine, so again, we're not in the business of forecasting school closing, so I can't say with 100% certainty. But if for the parents out there, if even if your child's school does not close, you do have the ability that if it comes down to it, you feel it's too dangerous, then keep the kids home. We're not we're not. We would rather you avoid travel if you can, especially tonight and the early tomorrow morning across Southeast Lower. But if you have to be out, just keep it. Just be very, very careful. Take it slow and keep an emergency kit in your vehicle in the event something does happen, like you slide off the roadway or anything like that. So we are going to go ahead and wrap up our live update here. We will continue to have updates on our social media throughout the event. And we will also be posting updates on our blog and here on our YouTube channel occasionally as well. So, this is Jacob Melton live here in the Southern Michigan Weather Center. We're going to go ahead and sign off. I'm wishing you a safe afternoon and evening as the snow picks up. Goodbye for now.